How's it going, everyone? And today we're going to be going over the charts for Lucid and SOFI. We're also taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest for each of these plays as well. So we're going to start off with Lucid. So as far as how I performed on the day, it ended up closing at $18.53, being up 1.53%. On the low, it tested $17.77, and then on the high, testing $18.69. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 15.411 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 14.184 million shares. So we had above average volume. So right away with our 15-minute chart, I want to show you the range that Lucid has been consolidating in. And this is going as far back to July the 26th, so this was just last week, but it's still valid. So as far as where the top range is, so we ended up seeing a high at 1869. So we know as far as for Lucid is concerned, we do have earnings that's coming up on Wednesday. I would love to see a move going to $19. And since we saw a high at 1869, I don't see any reason why we can't break through these levels and make that move up to 19, which is right around here. Now, if we decide to have some sort of a pullback going into tomorrow, you can see with our moving averages, we have the 9 EMA that has crossed over the 21 and as well as for the 50. So it is looking bullish. So if a pullback does occur, you'd want to see support kicking in right here around $18.30, which is right where we have our 50 EMA. If we break below this level, that's where you want to see $18 holding up. I would want to see a higher low from Lucid. We don't need to be testing back into this range at the 1770s or the 80s. This has been consistent areas, right? Look at this, 1770s, which we saw 1777 for today, and then as far as for the next area of support where we have some buyers that like to step in, right here at 1798. And I'm saying I want us to hold $18 going into tomorrow, which I feel is very doable. But if we don't get down that low, and if we could hold up at least above the 21 EMA, that would be the perfect case scenario, because that's right at 1840. We close at 1853. That's where I can say, you know what, there's a good chance Lucid can make that move going to $19. So let's see what it does going into tomorrow. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for Lucid. Scrolling down on the page, green rows indicate new positions, while red rows indicate closed positions. So when we take a look at the recent filings for August the 1st, we have Castle Wealth Management LLC that purchased 5 shares. We have Mozon Fitzgerald Tomeo LLC that purchased 40 shares. And we have Investors Asset Management of Georgia that purchased 200 shares. I'm surprised they even got to show that. Now, when we take a look at the short interest, the off-exchange short volume ratio is at 57.38%. And then for the off-exchange short volume, it is just over 3.07 million shares. Scrolling down on the page, the short shares availability is at 350,000, updated 20 minutes ago. And then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 11.74%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 28th, it was at 54.73. And then for the close of the 29th, being at 57.38. And then when we take a look at the short interest percentage of the float being at 21.79%, Lucid does continue to have short squeeze potential. So we're going to take a look at the chart for SOFI. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $6.36, being up 0.79%. On the low, it tested $6.14, and then on the high, testing $6.41. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 20.954 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 19.426 million shares. So you could see that we did have above average volume, and we saw some strength in the stock. Keep in mind, they do have earnings that is coming out tomorrow. So let's take a look at our chart, which is a 15-minute chart. In the video that I made yesterday, I went over it on the daily chart. So if you haven't seen it, check that one out. We want to take a look at what's happening for the short-term price action. So we could see right here as far as for SOFI, and this is going as far back as July to 26, it has been consolidating in quite the zone. We've been seeing these lows between 615 and around 611, and we've been seeing these highs right up here to around 645, and of course we've been seeing levels right here around 650, which I've talked about having that price action above 661 in the past. So as far as for today is concerned, we tested at 614. No surprise surprises there. You can see we tested it right over here on the 29th, which was on the Friday. And we also had some price action to where we got to as low as 611 back here on the 28th. So knowing that buyers stepped in today at this level was of no surprise. So going into tomorrow, what I want to see is from SOFI, we ended up seeing a high at $6.41. So I want to see us being able to break above that level and being able to make a move to at least 650. I don't think that's too much to ask in regards to a close. If we can get above 650, that's where I want to see us getting to 660 and seeing what we would do from there. It's all going to be dependent on earnings for SOFI to make that move back above $7, which I talked about yesterday. But as far as the zone that it is trading in, I think it's going to continue to be consistent going into tomorrow. If we see some weakness inside of the play, then of course you're looking for levels to break below 630, and then it will go back to testing just below 620, and then you want to see what I could do from there. So overall, let's see how SOFI performs going into tomorrow. But so far, taking a look at our 15-minute chart, it is looking strong. We have the 9 EMA that crossed over to 21 and as well as a 50, and it looks like we will get that retest back into the 640s. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for SOFI. Scrolling down on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So when we take a look at the recent filings for August the 1st, we have Empowered Funds LLC that purchased 20,077 shares, Castle Wealth Management LLC that purchased 282 shares. Then we have Eversource Wealth Advisors LLC that purchased 159 shares, and we have Vanguard ESG US Stock ETF shares that purchased 39,224 shares. And we also see a closed position. Now, when we take a look at the short interest, the off-exchange short volume ratio is at 46.08%, and then for the off-exchange short volume, it is just over 3.92 million shares. Scrolling down on the page, the short shares availability is at 10 million, updated 22 minutes ago, and then for the short borrow-free rate, it is at 1.74%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 28th, it was at 49.61, and then for the close of the 29th, being at 46.08. So it has gone down. And then when we take a look at the short interest percentage of the float being at 19.01%, SOFI does continue to have short squeeze potential. So that pretty much sums up the video for you guys today, and I'm looking forward to seeing how SOFI does in regards to reporting their earnings. I'll be keeping you guys updated on the channel, but in my personal opinion, I'm looking for an earnings beat. I want to see SOFI making a further move to the upside. I'm talking about $7 to $8. If it can move up even further and get to 11, like I talked about on the weekend, that would be a great look as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you are enjoying this format, let me know inside of the comment section. I want to make sure I'm getting straight to the point and I'm delivering value. And if you're new to this channel and you like this content, please consider subscribing. We'll talk soon.